We have the Arduino. We have the control software.
All the parts laid out.
All the parts laid out. We're hooking up a infrared sensor, motion sensor here. We have a total of what, 5 of these? Yep,
Yeah.
5 of these right here. See?
We got buzzers right here.
There's buzzers. We got our pack of buzzers. We have our Wi-Fi chip for wireless internet. We have a humidity temperature sensor. We have an alcohol gas sensor. We have,
This is the flame sensor.
yep, flame sensor. We have multiple variations of male to female. We have female to female. And we have male to male for hooking to the breadboard and the Arduino.
And that's step one.
That's step 1.
Okay, so far we hooked up the flame sensor to the breadboard and the Arduino.
And the black cable here is our ground cable. The red cable is our power cable. Edward's the live. And here's our analog for our feed, which is in A0 on the Arduino.
Now we're gonna work on programming it to see if it works. So we have a problem. The buzzer's going off when there's no flame, and then when there is flame, it goes off.
It's working in reverse.
Yeah, we don't know what's wrong with the code, but we need to change something here. Alright, so now we figured out what the problem was. It was that less than sign was a greater than sign. So now, if we put the fire to the sensor, the buzzer goes off. Alright, so we got it working. Okay, so now we have 2 sensors hooked up.
2 sensors operational.
Where this one detects, if it detects something, it will do low beeping sounds, like that. And this one will detect high beeping sounds. Right now we're just working on the 3rd sensor. And here's the code.
These are the PIR
sensors.
Motion sensors.
So we have variables right there for each sensor. We have they're all input, and the output is all into one buzz pin. So depending on which sensor goes off, the buzz pin will detect will emit a different sound. So right now we're working on the 3rd one.
We have that.
Okay, so this is the 1st sensor. This is the 2nd sensor. Oops. And this is our last one. It's detecting a lot of sounds at once because they're not really stable.
And they're kind of like moving on their own. So
Yeah, once we have it in the housing, it should be more secure, and it won't, like the rattling counts as noise, and since we're moving around a lot, that's why it's making all this extra noise, but other than that, it's working pretty fine.
Pretty much gotten.
Okay. So those are the beeps for the motion sensors, and for the fire sensor, it's... So we have everything working now. We just need to add a way to
Enable and disable the motion.
Toggle a push button switch. I didn't see a push button switch, but we can order one of them.
Yeah. So we're thinking we're gonna add a button to the whole thing to make it the motion sensors on and off, like a home security system has a way to deactivate and activate the system. We're probably gonna add a button to activate and deactivate the motion sensors for when the person's home. And that's our next step.
Well, we can
Pull it or take it apart. You know where everything goes. So we have sensor to 764, analog fire sensor to 0, buzz pin to 11.
Project. Our professor's freaking out over nothing, and what, 1 week we just finished and tested.